Right. It's been a while. We spent pretty humid and rainy day in recent day, recent time. You know, I had so much rainy weather outside. It's very not good condition for especially for painting. And the atmosphere itself must be very dry, not humid. Humid makes the painting process itself makes not good way. Sometimes you know it's very hard to get dry completely because of the humid make contain a little bit water, so it takes a time to dry, especially when you are dealing with the clear coat. Yeah, you want to make very shine glossy and a very nice surface. However, if the atmosphere is not good, I mean humid or too cold or whatsoever, um, a little bit you may see like fog in the surface of the paint of the clear coat. So you know when you were dealing with the painting process, maybe before you were doing that, maybe you need to check the weather condition. I mean climate, you know, especially in the summer times. In especially in a Asian country, we have pretty humid condition. Maybe July and September, October, something like that. So this is a very bad time. Too hot to do everything right. Okay. Um, Once before, I used to talk about the um, very basic issues of the improvement of for the modeler who already want to get more independent to express everything. I mean, your skill itself. I think every person who really want to make a good model, maybe you always think about how do I improve, how do I get reach the next level, or you want to have some extra perfect skill whatsoever. It's always a problem, right? And you do correct a lot of information from the internet, or maybe you can learn from the YouTube channels or magazines or some other internet community or society whatsoever. So you got so many information, right? You got so many idea, you got so many available tools to improve your painting techniques, or constructing techniques, or maybe some of you might feel some confused to what is good and what is not good for you, right? So every equipment, every tools that in the market is not always perfect to you, right? Some tools are sort of rubbish, some very lack of quality, and um, you spend money to buy it, but however the system itself is collapsed, and it doesn't work at all. So maybe you feel disappointment, right? So you need to correct the many information idea which you are really going to get it in the market from the market, right? And the market itself has to sell that they produce, right? It's just a business. The business makes the always important, matter to them, right? So that every tools company, every materials that they created has to be sold well, right? So maybe sometimes the information itself is not correct. I mean, incorrect and uncertain idea they spread out. So once you get it, maybe you might have some terrible result, right? But in other hand, in other way, if you really have um, idea that your skill is out, your skill you really want to improve yourself, not only the practice, but also if you have very excellent, very nice tools, maybe it helps your skill itself. I mean, um, sometimes if you discover very nice tools that you never had before, that which makes um, the idea or your result um, has to be it's very difficult to say anyway. um, Something like that. Okay, I don't know how to say, but um, okay, so for example, I have some tweezers like this. Okay. Oh, this is looking very nice, right? Looks very sharp and very precise and very nice, right? This is made by how do you spell it? Hosen. This is made in Pakistan, handmade. It's pretty nice. I bought it from Amazon before. Yeah, it looks very useful. It's not like rubbish, because the point, the 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 sharp of the edge is pretty precise, and stick it very correctly, and yeah, it's very looks very okay to me. But when I actually use this one, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's just because the strength is okay, but this is too thick. Here it's too thick, as you can see. Too thick, a little bit big, too big to me. Size of the things here is a little bit uncomfortable for me. So I prepare the other tweezers, something like here. This is Hasegawa tools. It's looks all the same, right? Nothing so different, but actually the thickness is different. See, this is much thinner than that one, and I don't feel any uncomfortable feeling about the length itself, but I just feel uncomfortable of the thickness between this and here, right? and here and here a little bit thick to me. In ordinary time, I think ordinary situation, if the people look at this, okay, this is nothing different. It all looks same. Why do you feel so uncomfortable to do this? Because um, the tools has to be completely and perfectly fit to you. The quality is also important, but the more important things that I really want to say is the whether is that tools is perfectly fit for your skill, or the size of things, or the finger, hands, or um, the materials you put it, right. So this is a little bit big. So this is pretty, for me, this is pretty a little bit uncomfortable when I dealing with the very small things to pick up. I rather I use the much um, thin tweezers, right? This is much more handy. I mean, very useful that. So, but sometimes this is it might be useful for other situation. Okay, so I use the two or three different types of the tweezers. This is for mainly I use for the decals to apply the very sensitive to handle it. The to treat the decal itself, because if the tweezer itself is too sharpened, maybe I might have some damage to the very thin decals. So I use the always separate to use all the time. Okay, just simply the cutting process. Okay, when you are dealing with the cutting process, cut something, I always use the ordinary cutting knife, but I use the different type. This is the quite sharpened, well, nice condition, well conditioned, sharpened knife. And this is a little bit rusty. I mean, I always keep the blue knife as the fresh knife, and then when I change the blade itself into the old one, and I change the new one here, and the old blade goes to here, this blade, right. So this blade is secondary use. I mean, when I cutting the very hard things, I think, which is like etching parts, or very bad for the sharpened blade, because this is second. I mean, this is used blade, so I just cannot hold it forever. I can throw it away, but still I doing that. I use the some kind of very rough treatment to devise something. Okay, but this one is definitely I have to cut very precise and very nicely. I just keep the bread itself is always fresh. So I just put the blue rubble. This is the very handle with care. But even so, I when I use so many times, the bread itself is gonna be very rusted, and very lack of the ability has happened. So when I change the bread itself, I just don't through it way. I just trying to change the second hand braid, and I just keep it. So I use the different knives, and or cutting tools is always I have many. This is for if you can okay, if you see the part, if you are gonna cut from the part itself from the gate, um, if the gate itself is too thick, okay, very hard to cut like this, it's very bad for the braid, right? It's because the part, the runner, I mean, the gauge itself is so big and very tough, so it makes very bad um, suffering. I mean, so the braid, so the tool itself is not always fresh forever. Sometimes you really care about is this things is very suitable for cutting or not. So if they don't, I use the some kind of not knife, but this is kind of the saw, right? This is a saw. I have some other saw. This is the pretty thing. It's a .1, and this is .1, but the figure of the braid is different. This is much tough. The figure makes the braid itself makes very tough. So this is pretty tough. When I'm dealing with the resin part, or the part itself is pretty hard to cut it, I use this one. And otherwise I use the much bigger saw here. Yeah, this is pretty hard work to cut. Very useful. Just the thickness is the same, but the braid is pretty wide and tough, and the details of the braid is much bigger than before, so I can cut the very tough resin part or whatsoever. Yeah, this is still handy. And I think if the thing is so tough, I use the much bigger saw, 1.5, not 1.015, and the braid is definitely big, and the thickness is 0.5, 0.05 thick, right? So even in a cutting process, I use so much different material tools to fit the purpose to the things gonna be success. I mean, you know, um, the tools helps your skill. Tools helps your lack of skill sometimes if you are choosing the right tools. I mean, um, even if you have not so much ability to build or paint, if the high quality, nice tools helps you, guides your skill, guides your abilities, but not all the time. But um, if you are dealing with the some kind of problem that the improvement your skill, your ability, maybe maybe you might be you might, I think, I think it's very better idea to change your tools anyway. To try to find good tools is always important task to improve yourself. Okay. Okay. I spend a lot of money to buy the kit and correct and amount it. I don't have much money to spend the other things, so I just use the very cheap tools and very reasonable in a reasonable price. Um, you know, in my experience, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work at all. Even if you buy the good kit, maybe the kit itself is will collapse by using of the rubbish tools. Okay, so at least you need to spend a little bit much money for using good tools. Okay, and if you can find good tools, the good tools, good good stuff is it doesn't break it. So I use more than 5 years. I have never had some bad idea to repair this. It still work, and the quality is definitely nice. And but if I spend not so much money to prepare this, maybe I have to buy it again, right? Because the quality is pretty bad. Even if I have skills to repair, maybe the quality itself will not change. So I have to spend much more money. Uh, Rather, I spend so much money to the good stuff. So bad stuffs, bad tools, bad stuffs, bad materials makes your wallet uh, on fire. Much fire. I mean, you have to spend so much more money if you don't use the good one. Okay. And I think um, there are damn so many stuffs in the market. So it's very hard to find which is good, which is not good, which is expensive, which is very cheap. But at least um, maybe the first of the things that maybe you may have some try at least 2 or 3 times in a different even in a knife. Yeah, good knife doesn't make so many times to change it, but bad knife is very easy to change to the new blade, because the blade of the material itself is always depends on the cost, always depends on the you know whatsoever, right? So um, the the making the model is not only the comes from to correct the nice kit, nice high quality kit. If you have some nice quality kit, maybe also you need to try to find the good tools. Okay. And if you have some bad tools, maybe your ability is your skill and your ability to improve everything is not grow it. It's not grow so well. So I don't say this is damn nice. This is I highly recommend you should buy it. This one, because every tools is not always mature for you. Mature for me, but mature for you. So so you can try to find your own, size, especially the size of tweezers, for example. Um, yeah, you need to try to find it, and maybe you need to throw away a little bit money to correct the mature uh, tools for you. Okay, and I think I think in the modern market, modern society, modern market, actually I don't see so much lavish things. I think most of the tools that you can find in the market is, I think, very good. Not extremely good, but okay for you. So you don't have to be so afraid to get lavish things. You know, maybe at least um, you can find very much easier than before. But I think the treatment of the tools by yourself is also important. You know, this is pretty nice. Well cut, very nice cutting tools. But blade itself is very thin and very sensitive. So I can't cut like the just just push it, right. I can't, how do I say, I don't know, but I can't twist it, because once I cut, I just threw it. I just take that away, cut and away, not not cut and twist it. It makes the blade itself is completely crushed. Okay, very bad. So the treatment, how do you treat your own tools, is makes the good tools keep for a long time. Okay, so sometimes I need to fill in with the some oil to make the movement is very smoothly, because this is pretty still, right. So sometimes the surface of the blade has some very nasty rust, so it makes the movement of the movement itself is a little bit weird. I mean, if the inside of the things is a little bit rusty, it's not comfortable to cut, right. So maybe I can say maintenance, right. Maintain your tools very um, nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. um, I think tools is much important, much more than things to it's much important, rather than trying to find to correct the new kid, or so if you have, if you really want to express something very nicely, I think you should make a time to research the tools. you know this is the way of the, I think, the professional thinking. Amateur thinking is just correcting the kid whatsoever. Okay, I love the plastic model kids. That's it. It's never is never created, never produced the you know nice result of the modeling expression. Okay, so the professionals is always think about the tools, think about materials, think about techniques, think about the sense, think about the the ability they have. Okay, right. I I talk too much. I just get tired with that. So see you.